Let's bring in Dave Rubin. He's the author of Don't Burn This Book, a commentator, a familiar face here on Fox News. And, of course, Emily's still here. Dave, first off, your reaction to the burning of a precinct. I mean, we used to hear about this stuff in Iraq. I never thought we were going to hear about this in America.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I say on my show all the time is that two things can be true at the same time. What happened to George Floyd is an absolute travesty and a criminal act. And by the way, everyone across the board, as partisan as we are, is condemning it from what I'm seeing. But we have to be clear about the other thing, too, which is those are not protesters out there. Those are rioters. Those are criminals. You cannot burn down stores. You certainly can't burn down police precincts. That does not help anything. And yeah, it does look like a third world country out there. And I guess we're going to send in the National Guard. I mean, things are not looking good.
Dave, you're in Southern California. When you see these images and this video, especially of that precinct just exploding and all of the police cars that were sort of fleeing, I mean, it was incredibly powerful and obviously horrible, to say the least. What does this recall for you of the 1992 Watts riots?
Yeah, well, you know, what we need more than anything else right now is the exact same thing we need whenever this type of thing happens. Whenever there's an injustice, and then there are riots after and all of this, we need calmer voices to prevail. You know, I just saw yesterday that Al Sharpton's heading there now. And if you just look at what's happening on Twitter and the rest of it, I saw this morning Ali Velshi on MSNBC. I just tweeted out this clip telling us that, you know, that the rioters are mostly peaceful. Meanwhile, there's a building exploding behind him. It's like we need some honest actors in this. We need an honest media, and we need an honest politician or two would be nice. That's what we need more than anything else, because otherwise these things, especially in an age of social media, they just continue to escalate. There's a lot of people that want chaos right now. And, you know, in this strange time that we're all living in through Corona, it's like we don't need more fuel on the fire, literally. So we just need some adults in the room. I think you guys are doing a nice job of it, and I'll continue to do the same.
And I just wonder what law enforcement's tactic is. I know they have their hands full, but neighboring cities should provide additional law enforcement. 500 National Guard is not enough. 500 is way too little, puts everybody in danger. And it seems as though reporters are saying no sirens, no police presence. They watched as things happen on the outside, and we saw the chaos that's taking place. I don't know if it's going to happen again on day 4. But I don't know how the people of Minnesota should be tolerating this, even with the outrage of his death. Meanwhile, let's switch over to Trump versus Twitter. And yesterday, the president, watching all this hell, said these thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and we won't let that happen again. Just spoke to the governor and told him the military is on its way. Any difficulty will assume control, but when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Thank you. Twitter saw that. They basically put disclaimers with it, so you have to read the disclaimers before it happened. And the president just tweeted in response of Twitter acting again on him, says Twitter's doing nothing about all the lies and propaganda being put out by China or the radical left Democratic Party. They've targeted Republicans, conservatives, and the President of the United States. Section 230 should be revoked by Congress. Until then, it will be regulated. Where's this war going, Dave?
Oh, man. I mean, for those of us that are in this war, my show is on YouTube, distributed as a podcast, and the rest of it. It's like the free speech war has been burning for the last 3 or 4 years, and it seems finally now it is coming to a head. Most of your audience probably knows, generally speaking, I fall more on the libertarian side, where I don't like the idea of, say, government regulators working with big tech. I don't like that, but Trump actually using this executive action to take away protections so that Twitter has to behave, Twitter and YouTube and Google and the rest of them, so that they have to behave more honestly. I don't see that as a problem, because that's just taking away illegal protection. But even with that, we have to be careful for what we ask for, because if they have less protections, they then might start policing speech even more carefully. But of course, this is Twitter taking direct aim at Trump and Trump supporters, because we know all day long on Twitter, I mean, you could just search the George Floyd or the Minneapolis hashtag. I mean, there are literally thousands of people rejoicing in violence, calling for violence. Every time Trump tweets, there's people, often blue check journalists, threatening him. Kathy Griffin with her tweet about the syringe with air in it. on Trump this week. I mean, there's a series of these things. And that really is what this is about. It's the selective decisions that they make that somehow always seem to be against right-leaning or conservative people. But I think this thing is just going to keep ramping up throughout the election. And for those of us that care about liberty, that care about choice and freedom, we're going to have to decide, are these the platforms that we want to be on? Are there other ways around it? You know, I'm a competition guy, and I think there will be some solutions on the horizon.
That's exactly right, Dave. And I think it's important to remember, too, that it's not just the tag, that because they have flagged it, no one is able to like or retweet it. So you lose that amplification effect. And that's why it's obviously censorship, because it can't go any further. So there's sort of multiple degrees of the impact that Twitter is having on this. And by Twitter, we mean individual actors that are working there and getting paid to act as these arbiters. Thank you for joining us, Dave.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of non-stop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist, all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.